Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer, or welcome back if you are returning. Today is going to be talking about the third day of my trip to London. I went to the Harry Potter studio tours by Warner Brother outside of the city of London. It is the top thing, my favorite thing that I did in the town of London, and it is probably the second top thing I did overall my whole trip. And it was so funny because I actually wasn't sure if I was even gonna do this, but a couple months out from my trip, and so I decided to go ahead and purchase tickets directly on the Harry Potter Studios website. And then they said that I can take the train out to the Leavenworth station, and then from there they have a free shuttle bus that you can pick you up and take you out to the actual studios. And so that's what I did. It was very easy to navigate. I just went to the main train station, and from there took the train out to Leavenworth, and so then took the tour bus. It was so easy. It was a very quick ride, and they played Harry Potter snippets and behind the scenes during the bus ride. It was very short, maybe 10-15 minutes. And from there we're going to take it off and show all of the audio and video and photos that I took throughout my trip. This is probably the most audio and video and pictures I've ever done on any trip or anywhere I've ever been. Took so many pictures. Sit back, just take a great drink. Hopefully you have a nice snack, and let's get the show on the road. Welcome to the Harry Potter Studio Tour by Warner Brothers. The bus dropped us off over on the side of the building, and you can see the entrance. As you go in, you present your ticket, bags are checked, and then you go into this wonderful, amazing atrium, and you are then allowed to grab a snack, a drink, or you can begin your Harry Potter Studio Tour. And here is the entrance to begin your adventure. You again show your tickets, and then you see the cupboard under the stairs, which gets you all excited. And then a new feature at the beginning of May when I went on my trip, there is the Triwizard Tournament. So you begin in the hedge maze, and you get your passport to stamp along the way. And the very first thing that you see and do is the actual dining hall for the Hogwarts castle and school. And so you see all of the everybody's costumes, and you see them up front at the main dining table for all the professors, as well as I got an amazing picture as they're entering in the next group. Be prepared. You are ushered very quickly through that hall, but then after that you are free to roam and look and take as much time as you want seeing all of the different houses and rooms. Like this is the Gryffindor common room as well. They had the Slytherin common room. Everything had such amazing detail and excitement. It was just absolutely amazing. One of the new things that they started doing with the Triwizard Tournament was having a performance on the hour every hour where the two other teams actually did a presentation, a dance, and then they went up on stage and continued a performance and called out names out of the Triwizard Cup, which was very cool. So now you're going to see some of that great information.
Legendary event, the Triwizard Tournament. For those of you who do not know, the Triwizard Tournament brings together three schools.
Wasn't that an amazing addition to the already amazing studio tour? As now you can see we were in Dumbledore's office, and you can see his costume, his phoenix, Fawkes, as well as the Pensieve. I thought the Pensieve was so detailed and was amazing to see what actually was on set for the actors to use while performing. Now let's take a look at potions class.
Foolish wandering or silly incantations in this class. As such, I don't expect many of you to appreciate the subtle science and exact art of this potion making.
after Potion's class, you can see Tom Riddle's costume and the actual resurrection stone that he wore on his finger. It's such detail that you would just miss if you walked right by his costume. You'd have no idea that the ring existed. It's just so many different Easter eggs. It was so neat to see. You also had the opportunity to fly on a broomstick in a green screen and see what that really looks like from a perspective if you were actually filming on the video. Then you can check out the night bus and all that it has to offer with the nightlife and what it looks like to actually ride along with the movie in the background of the actual bus windows. And you're not done yet. You can actually check out the hollow of where the Weasleys lived, including all the fine detail of the clock and the spoon handles. And then you enter into the Forbidden Forest, where you can check out all the things that are creepy. Before the halfway point where you can stop and grab a lunch, you can hop on the Hogwarts Express. Check out each of the different carriages, for one for each of the different movies. All 8 have special effects and different props from each of the different movies. You can stop off with a cafe at the halfway point and have a butterbeer or a pumpkin juice or a chocolate frog. Or you can continue on with the tour like I did, to skip everybody else that has stopped for lunch and check out all the night outside exhibits, including the night bus, and then also the very cool Privet Drive. This was one of the big highlights and one of the special things that I really was looking forward to seeing. I was so looking forward to taking my picture inside Privet Drive and seeing the most classic scene of the letters coming out of the fireplace, and seeing the ant being blown up by Harry because he was so mad and so frustrated with how he was being treated by his family. These are the 2 most important scenes and most pivotal for me with the whole entire series. So this is one of the awesome things that I enjoyed seeing. Next, you can check out the greenhouse and see what the different Slytherins and what Neville gets up to within the greenhouse classes. And then moving on to the Gringotts Bank and how extraordinary and special and exciting this whole thing was. And being able to see the vault and the contents and actually the replicating of the different items during when they're trying to find one of the Horcruxes, as well as going down the actual Diagon Alley and turning on and looking back that we just came through Gringotts Bank. It's so exciting. There are many, many, many more photos and things that I didn't share that was within the studio tour. There's animatronics and how Hagrid gets made in the different versions of Hagrid, and some of the trolls and centaurs and all the props and makeup, as well as dioramas. There's so much that you can take in and enjoy. But the very last room is the replica of the Hagrid's actual school and the castle, and all that goes into building that diorama for filming, and how detailed it is. It's just absolutely everything that's associated with filming the outside of Hogwarts. They do say that if you would cut it up and see on the inside, it would be just as detailed on the outside, which is absolutely astounding. Take a look at this last video and interaction from the Triwizard Tournament in the final room where you can see the diorama. After the last room, I decided to hang out in the Chocolate Frog and have a actual lunch very late in the afternoon, about 2 p.m. I probably should have stopped and had lunch and had a break in the middle. That probably would have been a better idea than waiting for so long to have a lunch. But that is something to keep in mind if you're willing to wait for a late lunch, or if you want to break it up halfway through. That is something to keep in mind and consider for your group as you go through the tour. But I would highly, highly recommend this tour. I had a pizza and a drink, and it was very good. And so I would highly recommend this tour. It's very easy to take the train and then take the shuttle bus out to the tour. I'd highly recommend it. Hi, I just got back from the Harry Potter studio tour from Warner Brothers out in Leavenworth, however you want to say it. So first I thought I'd talk about transportation out there, and then the getting admitted process, and then also talking about the whole tour itself. So just to kind of wrap up and talk about some key highlights, it was amazing. Everything went really smoothly, had no wait in lines. It was all so much fun and so worth it, in my opinion. It was so cool to see all of the different sets and props and videos. But anyway, just many more in a little bit. But first, let's talk about transportation. So I bought my ticket online through their official website, and it said that as long as you took the train from one of the stations in London out to the Watford stop, wow, to the Watford stop or Watford Junction station. So then there is a free 15-minute shuttle out to their actual studio property. So from where my hotel is, I did the Euston station, and from London, and took that all the way out to Watford Junction station. And from there, I took the shuttle, which was there waiting, and I was able to hop on. So the train did take about 22 minutes or so to get out there, which was really straightforward. I used the Trainline app, which allowed me to get a ticket, and then I put that on. I have an Apple phone, so I put on the Apple Wallet, but if you have an Android phone, you could do the Google Wallet. And then you scan your train ticket when you get on and off the train, so hopefully keep that in mind. You have your phone ready, or your ticket if you have a physical ticket, to get on and off the train at each stop. So from there, I took the shuttle, and so that was a great experience. No issues. Yeah, it was all very easy. It is probably going to be, I did the first visit of the day, so that was at 10 a.m. for the time in the end of May in 2025 that I went. And so that was a great process. Got off the bus, got right in. My admission was for 10 a.m., but I think I got there about 10 after 10, and it was totally perfectly fine. You just had to tell them that your admission was for actually 10 a.m. But then I went straight to through bag check, security check. They do check bags as you go through, but then you can either use the restrooms before you start your tour, or you can check any coats and bags if you want to carry them through the whole thing. I kept my backpack and my jacket because there is an outside portion, and so it was kind of raining when I left, and so I wasn't sure if it'd be raining when I went through the outdoor side, so I took and kept my jacket and went through. And so they kind of they said that each tour starts about every 10 minutes, and so they gather a bunch of people, and then you begin the tour, which was so exciting. This time they just introduced a new Triwizard tournament into the whole experience. It is throughout. There's some actual interactions and productions and dances. And so I don't want to spoil anything, but that is a very cool addition to the process. You do, as you start the tour, begin within the hedges of like the hedge maze, say that 10 times fast, which is very exciting. And then you, throughout the whole tour, it is very immersive, very much detail. There's so much to look at and see. I did complete the tour in about 3 hours, which I could definitely have taken longer. That is without stopping to eat or drink anything in the middle. That was like just taking a stop and rest here and there, but then continuing on throughout all the exhibits. One of the things I did learn is I should have stopped and talked to the different workers that were at different stations. They always have amazing tidbits and ideas and suggestions and just cool facts. So I should have interacted with more of the people as I went through. And you can kind of tell that they're at different stations. I did talk to one gentleman that was in the Gringotts Bank and asked him about the money he had, and he told me some cool, interesting facts. So I would definitely recommend talking to whoever's in the Gringotts Bank and talking about the items that they have that they see there. And then I also talked to one very nice lady in one of the modeling exhibits. And so I was sitting on a bench taking a rest, and somebody had asked her a question, and when they were done, I asked a different question. And so she then provided and said, hey, you know, that bench that you're sitting on is possibly one of the benches that was used in the dining hall in the Grand Hall during the movies, and possibly they were one of the Ravenclaw, or it was one of the actual Gryffindor benches that were used during the filming. So any benches throughout the whole exhibit are from the dining hall, and possibly Daniel Radcliffe or one of the other actors and actresses might have actually sat on that very bench that you might have sat on. So I just thought that was so cool. That might be a possibility, and so keep that in mind. So yeah, so just kind of keep that in mind as you're working through all of the different tours and exhibits. Interact with everybody. They're all very nice and friendly and have some great anecdotes. One of my favorite scenes was actually in the Dursley house and seeing all the letters falling for Harry's acceptance letter to Hogwarts. And then also the very iconic and original scene with Aunt Petunia and all of that, and the blowing up of the ant. And so that was very, very cool to see. And so I would highly recommend the tour. And I took as many photos and videos. I've never taken that many in my life. So it's very cool to see all of that. And just kind of, yeah, it was a very fun, full day. I walked over 10,000 steps again today. The last 2 days, I've also walked over 10,000 steps, which is a lot for me. And so I just keep that in mind. The tour was very accessible. I loved that. All of the flooring and interactions were all very accommodating. It had stairs and handrails, and also elevators if needed. And all of that was very easy to navigate and move around, which is very exciting. So yeah, I had an amazing day, and so I got some souvenirs, and maybe I'll show that at some point as well at the end of these events. Well, that is it for now. That's definitely the biggest highlight from today is the Harry Potter tour and all of that. So I'm very excited to see what tomorrow brings. Good night.